Good morning, guys. GI Customs here. This week for SOP, we are going to do something slightly different, so it's not going to be a how-to this morning, but instead, I'm going to do a top 5. I'm going to do a little different top 5 than the ones I've seen out there. I'm not going to do the top 5 of everyday tools that everyone uses for customizing and painting. I'm going to do some of the more oddball ones that I do use fairly often, but I don't see on a lot of other how-tos or top 5s or top 10s or whatever they do. So it's going to kind of be the top 5 oddball tools that I think could help on a daily basis or on at least a weekly basis of customizing action figures or painting any kind of miniature or anything like that. So without further ado, we're going to get into number 1. Number 1 might be a little less flashy, but nail polish remover. You can get all kinds of different ones out there. I went with the Q-Tex Care. The biggest thing on this is it doesn't stink terribly. It has a good smell to it. Not the end of the world, but if you're sitting here using it and stuff, and usually close to your face, not smelling like complete alcohol and chemical, helps out a little bit. But this stuff's great for taking paint off of characters, action figures, anything like that. Even the stuff from the factory, this stuff will take it off. Sometimes it takes a little rubbing to do that, but it'll take it off and not destroy the plastic. So that's my number 1, nail polish remover. Number 2, say these Micron mini pens. So these are really nice, and I'll have the links to all of this stuff down in the description below. You can pick all of it up. I don't use these every single time, but man, when you're in getting real small details, these help out a ton. Makes it look really professional. Real small lines that maybe with the paintbrush, at least me personally, I'm not super great getting the real small stuff. But I can draw a fairly straight line, stuff like that. If you follow along on my social media, I just did some pumpkin heads, and one of them I did as a Day of the Dead candy skull. I used this black specifically, and they come in sets of a bunch of different colors, to outline a bunch of that stuff, and I wouldn't have done that with a brush, or had as consistent lines with the brush as with this. So these Micron pens, pack, I think there's 6 or 7 in a pack, got some different colors. I mostly use black, but I have used red and some different things. So that's my number 2. Number 3, a little different, silly putty. So this is just normal silly putty. Again, I'll have the link in the description below, but it comes in the little peanuts. I think this is 2 or 3 different things of it mixed together. But this stuff, and I'll have this later this week. I'll use this for masking. So you put this on a piece of plastic or whatever, and have out make your organic shape for camo or anything like that. And this stuff works really well. It comes right off, keeps the paint out. If you push the edges down on it, you can kind of mold it and make it into whatever shape you need. I've seen a lot of people use this at different times in the bigger scale painting. So the big 2 feet tall statues and stuff, they'll use some of this stuff on different things to mask off. So I've been using it for vehicles and camouflage. Works great. You can kind of organically make your shapes, spray it, and then it just comes right off, and you just knead it right back in with all the paint and stuff on it. Doesn't hurt anything. So, and super cheap. So that's my number 3. Number 4, magnetic clips. So these have seen some use, so they're no longer straight, and they've got paint all over them. But I use these for airbrushing. I use these to set little pieces on if I'm painting guns or heads or anything like that. That's what these are. So these actually have just a little piece of foam rolled up in there, but I can do that and then push a head right down on top of that and be able to have it like this. You can stuff this in there. Now you got a head on a stick, or you can paint and do all kinds of stuff. Some of these too, so all of these came with these little plastic ends. I keep these and take them on and off. So sometimes I want the real thin edges of this to get up in and hold the right place. Sometimes putting this on there and keeping it closed is enough to stick up into something and hold it in place. So I do different things with them, take those on and off. I keep them all over by where I have these, but these are real nice because they're magnetic. They come with this little tin, but you can stick them all over the place. I've stuck them on the side of things, on shelves and stuff to let things dry. So those are my number 2, number 4, whichever way you want to go with it. These I use a lot, so almost every single day. My last one, my top that I know I've talked about before, silicone popper as a paint tray. These are great. I just washed this one out. I've got a couple of them here on my desk, but really well, works really nice. They're cheap, and you can put some paint in them, and the acrylic paint, when it dries, all you do is push that through and paint peels right off. You can throw it in the trash. I have to wash these out maybe once every other month or so, as just little pieces of paint get stuck in there, but usually around the edges and stuff. If I really scrub this with a brush, all that would come out. I'm not too worried about it. If it's not coming out, in the water with me just running my hand over it, it's not going to come off when I'm painting. So I usually rinse them out a little bit, and then you've got both sides. So even once some of the paint's got stuck in or whatever, you can just let it all dry, flip it over, pop them all out, and you got a brand new palette. So it's real nice with acrylic paint. I don't think enamel or anything. I've never tried it with this. I don't know how well it works, but I know the acrylic paint, as it dries, it doesn't stick to silicone really. So like I said, you can pop it right out and just peel it off and throw it in the trash. So those are my top 5. Definitely like and subscribe. Let me know what you would add to this list. Let me know if any of this stuff jumped out to you and you picked it up because of what you saw here. If you've got any more questions or would like to see how I use something in more detail, let me know. I can add it to one of these week's SOPs, maybe how this works better, how I use these, I don't know. This I'm gonna have in the video this week for the tomahawk. I plan on being able to use that this week, so there'll be some more how-to on that. At least you can watch me use it through the tomahawk video, so make sure to check that out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me a ton to have subscribers. They're still showing that most of my videos, about 60% of people aren't subscribed that are watching, so I would really appreciate it if you could drop a subscribe on there, drop a like. It helps me out a ton, helps YouTube figure out who likes stuff and who doesn't, and how good my content is. So without further ado, I appreciate it. It's a great week, and everyone have a good time.